Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Where the heck are we? We are at the awesome Cascade Field and Stream Club right here between Cle Elum and Ellensburg, Washington. Up here with Gun Law Jr. We were just going to run lead downrange all day, and then all of a sudden we started getting news that there'd been a verdict in the Hunter Biden case. Now that has set off a flurry of statements, a flurry of activity, and some statements that have been attributed to people that maybe weren't quite true. But I think there's a lot to digest here, and I think that following up on this video right here, we all need to do some serious soul searching about who did we actually root for and why. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about Hunter found guilty, will Daddy pardon him? Okay, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, let's spend a minute and talk about federal agencies. You know, we talk about the ATF all the time on this channel, and I always say, hey, do you actually trust them? Well, how about the FDA? Do you trust them? Ooh, better yet, how about the CDC? Do you trust the CDC in the post-pandemic world? Well, maybe that's why you should learn a little bit more about Black Forest supplements and why they are making a big difference in my life and can make a big difference in yours as well. You see, it all comes down to nicotinamide mononucleotide, or what's called NMN. Now, NMN, a natural supplement, produces NAD+. What does NAD+ do? Well, that helps with cellular metabolism, energy production, and how we age. And in order to get more NAD+, well, it's as simple as taking more NMN. And if you do, you will see tremendous health benefits. For example, increased energy, better weight control, stronger endurance, better strength. You're even gonna age a little bit more gracefully. Hey, listen, if you don't believe me, I'm going to go ahead and put two links down below, one to Harvard Medical School, one to the National Institute of Health, both of which talk about the tremendous health benefits of NAD+. And listen, these studies also suggest that NMN can assist with cholesterol management and blood pressure. But here's the problem, America. You see, the FDA, now they want to pull NMN off the market. They want to have a monopoly on it. They want this to be a prescription medication. They don't want it to be a natural supplement. Why is that? Well, first of all, it would allow them to monopolize it, turn it into prescription medication, and allow Big Pharma to make billions and billions of dollars off of it. Also, if we all start aging a little bit more gracefully, if we're all just a little bit more healthier in our later years, well, then the doctors aren't going to be able to prescribe the billions and billions of prescription pills that they're currently shoving down the throats of Americans. So if you want to find out what's got the FDA all freaked out about, go ahead and click on that link right there, or better yet, click on that QR code right there. Listen, Black Forest supplements, they're making a huge difference in my life. They're going to make a huge difference in yours too. For more information, visit my good friends at blackforestsupplements.com. Okay, America, as you know, today Hunter Biden had a bad day in court. Appears to be a common trend lately for political figures. Hunter was found guilty of not one, not two, but three separate felonies, all dealing with the fact that he lied on a Form 4473, purchased the firearm, and possessed the firearm while he was nothing but a crackhead. How do we know all of that? Well, because, Hunter Biden himself admitted to it. That's right. Hunter Biden becomes yet another in a long, long line of criminals to out themselves. Now, couple questions. First of all, is Hunter Biden facing jail time? The answer to that question is yes, he is. He's actually facing significant prison time. Is Hunter Biden likely to get jail time? That I don't believe there's a high probability of. Now, I want everyone to understand that there are many people out there in the 2A community that were rooting for Hunter to be found not guilty because they believe that the statutes under which Hunter was convicted are unconstitutional. And candidly, when you go back and you take a look at some of the historical precedents and lack thereof for some of these statutes, it's a very plausible and sound argument. But I want you to understand something very important now. Even if there's a constitutional challenge to some of the statutes that Hunter was convicted of, at best it probably is only going to eliminate one of the three convictions. Because let's remember that in count 1 and count 2, Hunter Biden was charged with crimes associated with making a false statement on a 4473. Only count 3 had to do with him being a user or addict of controlled substances and being in possession of a firearm. So if we take a look at cases such as the Daniels case, which is sitting on the front step of the United States Supreme Court, or possibly rulings that we could get out of the Rahimi case, it is entirely possible that Hunter Biden was convicted under count 3 on an unconstitutional statute. However, in all likelihood, that's not going to alleviate his problems on count 1 and count 2, because the crime there has nothing to do with him obtaining a firearm. The crime there has absolutely nothing to do with him being a drug addict. The crime is lying on a federal form. And if you recall, we did this video just a few days ago about the case of United States versus Scheidt, in which the exact same constitutional challenge was made on the 4473, and the court specifically found, the Seventh Circuit, 3-judge panel, so take it for what it's worth, but they specifically found that the Second Amendment was not even implicated in the 4473, and that the crime was being dishonest on a federal form. So even if there is a successful challenge at some point to some of the prohibitions against controlled substance users possessing firearms, it is not likely to save Hunter Biden on counts 1 and 2 of the indictment. Okay, let's talk about the other thing that a lot of people are talking about, which is he going to be pardoned? Now, President Biden said that he would not pardon his son if he was convicted. And while I believe that may be the case right now, if things go in November the way they should, and President Biden then becomes a lame duck president, well, there is no reason for him not to pardon his son at that point, okay? And so what I would say is that if President Trump is successful at reclaiming the White House and President Biden now becomes a lame duck president, do not be surprised sometime before the end of the calendar year if he does not pardon his son. And then finally, there was a lot of confusion, especially out in the exosphere earlier today, about a statement which was purported to come from President Trump, in which he promised that he would pardon Hunter and also went on a few other various tirades. That statement was completely false, completely made up. The official statement from President Trump's campaign reads as follows. This trial has been nothing more than a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family, which has raked in tens of millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Ukraine. Crooked Joe Biden's reign over the Biden family criminal empire is all coming to an end on November 5th, and never again will a Biden sell government access for personal profit. So I know many of you saw another statement in which the president promised that if elected, he would pardon Hunter. That is a false statement. Now, the final thing I want all of you to think about, and I know some of you are just jumping for joy, and you really hope to see a one-tier criminal justice system versus the two-tier system that we're currently living under. But however, many of you are also disappointed because you believe, in fact, that one or all three of these indictments were based upon unconstitutional statutes. These issues are going to be resolved, and I can flat guarantee you that the Biden defense team will in fact be appealing this. And so in many ways, two of the most important cases that may ultimately decide whether or not some of these statutes that disarm nonviolent felons or preclude people who are using controlled substances from possessing firearms, think about it. Those cases may be entitled Trump versus State of New York and United States v. Biden. Listen, we'll go ahead and link up everything down below that we relied upon in making this story. Hey, by the way, maybe you guys got ideas for videos that we should be doing here at Washington Gun Law. If you do, go ahead and click on that link right there. Some of the best ideas we ever had weren't actually our ideas. If you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington Gun Law by now. If you don't, that information's down below in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. From the totally awesome Cascade Field and Stream Club here in Cle Elum, Washington, thanks for watching and stay safe.